Coming up on Sportsource, the Norfolk County Titans have found success so far with their new coach. Can they keep their baseball dynasty alive this season? And one gym dog is setting the bar high with her legendary performances on the beam. Plus, does the Georgia men's basketball team have a chance to play in March Madness competition? We caught up with fans to find out. Sportsource starts now. Good afternoon and welcome to Sportsource. I'm your host, Frankie Hennessy. We start our show with one of the area's most storied high school baseball programs, Norfolk County. Few teams have dominated like the Titans, with deep playoff runs and top talent year after year. This season, with a new coach and another strong team, can they keep the dynasty alive? Joining me now is Sportsource reporter Aiden Daly. Aiden?
That's right, Frankie. Norfolk County is coming off back-to-back state titles, and expectations are still sky high. With a new coach and a stacked rosters, the Titans face a tough road ahead. Here's what's in store for this season.
At Norfolk County High School, winning isn't the goal, it's the expectation. With back-to-back state championship runs in 2022 and 2023, the Titans have built one of the most dominant high school baseball programs in Georgia. And this year, the expectations are no different. This year, the team has a new leader at the helm. Head coach Eric Bounds has been the assistant coach for the Titans for the last 8 years. However, this season, he will be the one leading the charge.
Challenging. There's a lot that you don't realize the head coach does, like outside of the time that he's at practice and at games, calling and contacting people. And then when you've got, players that, professional scouts are looking at, sometimes you're having to talk to them and call them back and do those types of things, but it's been fun.
Coach Bounds will be taking over the role from Jay Lasley, who has taken the Titans to the Final Four in the state playoffs every year since 2019. So it's safe to say he has some big shoes to fill.
I think, the success is kind of, obviously we built that as a group, but with Coach Lasley at the helm. There's a little bit of pressure to step into something that's, already fully established. So, but like I said, it's been fun. It's been challenging, but fun.
With a coach the players can trust leading the way, the Titans aren't looking to rebuild from the ground up, just reload with the talent they already have. And as they begin their latest chase for a championship, one thing's for certain, the Titans are here to win.
Obviously the goal every year is to try and win the state championship. I think just become better every single day. That's kind of the thing. Not only better on the field, but just better people. Trying to do everything we can just to be a better program overall, not just on the baseball field, but also off of it. So,
reporting for the Carmichael Sports Media Institute, I'm Aiden Daly.
With the season already underway, the Titans are hungry to get back on top. Last year, they fell short in the semis against eventual champ Stars Mill. With region play coming up, they're locked in and ready for the challenge. Back to you, Frankie.
Thanks, Aiden. It certainly is going to be an interesting season. Coming up next on Sportsource, the SEC Indoor Track and Field Championships are underway, with every team fighting for their spot at the top. Joining me now are analysts Skylar DeLuca and Kylie Sharp to give us the inside scoop.
Arkansas has been dominant in the last decade of SEC championships, and both their men's and women's teams are hoping to continue that hard-earned streak.
Plus, we've got the scoop on how the NCAA's new rules will affect each team, and what a smaller roster size could mean for a sport as a whole.
Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Sportsource. This weekend, all eyes are on College Station, Texas for the SEC Indoor Track and Field Championship. The best athletes in the conference will go head-to-head, and with the national championship right around the corner, these teams will put their best foot forward. To break it all down, I'm joined by Sportsource analysts Skylar DeLuca and Kylie Sharp.
That's right, Frankie. 16 powerhouse teams will be competing at the Fasken Indoor Track and Field facility, and we've got some serious national title contenders in the mix. On the men's side, number 1 nationally ranked Arkansas and number 4 Texas A&M lead the pack, while the women's side is just as stacked, with number 1 Arkansas and number 7 Georgia battling for dominance.
Let's start with the Arkansas men's team. They're coming in as the top-ranked team in the country, and they've been on fire lately. Yassine Abdullah just set a new school record in the 5,000 meter, and freshman jumper Scotty Vines is currently the best in the nation.
Kylie, what makes this Razorbacks team so dangerous?
Arkansas has individual stars like Vines and Abdullah who are breaking records, with many runners continuing to break their own records this season. However, nationally, they have few individual runners that are the best at their events. They have elite athletes in specific events, but will they be able to pull together a team win? The home field advantage might come into play this weekend for Texas A&M. Speaking of the Aggies, their 4x400 relay team is currently the fastest in the country, and their second lineup, the second fastest. Ahmad Robinson is a force in the 200 meter and 400 meter beyond his contribution to the relay. However, sprinting might be their only strong suit as they have no distance runners in the top 50 nationally.
Over on the women's side, Arkansas is the team to beat once again. They're stacked in the 800 meter long jump and triple jump. Sanu J-Lo Lockhart is having a historic season. The 2024 Gambia Olympian ran a sub 2-minute 800 meter at the Tyson Invitational, which put her as the #4 performer on the all-time collegiate list. She also ran the 800 meter leg of the distance medley relay, helping Arkansas produce a time of 10 minutes 55.09 seconds, which ranks #7 on the Arkansas all-time list. The Bulldogs have also put together a strong season, and they're coming into this meet ready to challenge SEC powerhouses like Arkansas and LSU. Aliyah Butler has been dominant in the sprints, posting the fastest SEC 400 meter time this season at 50.85 seconds, and winning the 200 meter at the Razorback Invitational at 22.83 seconds. Kayla Jackson added more firepower, ranking 7th in the 60 meter this season. In field events, Skyland Townsend has excelled in the long jump and triple jump, while Elena Konchenko is a top SEC high jumper. Georgia's 4x400 meter relay team is also a major contender after setting a school record at the Razorback Invitational. With this depth, the Bulldogs are ready to make a serious impact in College Station.
The SEC brings some serious competition on the women's side. Tell us about it, Kylie.
Yes, Frankie. Georgia is ranked 7th in the NCAA entering this weekend's SEC championship. Their strength lies in the jumps in the field events, which are set to happen later this weekend. Meanwhile, #8 LSU has speed across multiple distances, with Tima Godbless excelling in the 60 meter and 200 meter, and Lorena Rangel Batra competing in the 800 meter and mile. LSU's depth in multiple disciplines gives them a strong chance to challenge for the top spot.
Who are the key matchups on the women's and men's side of this championship meet?
On the women's side, the 60 meter sprint showdown between LSU's #1 ranked Tema Godbless and Georgia's #7 ranked Kayla Jackson is a must-watch. The 4x400 meter relay will be a fight on the track. Georgia and Arkansas both have top-ranked relays in the nation. And for the 800 meter, it's a battle of the sub 2-minute runners. Arkansas' Sanu J-Lo Lockhart versus LSU's Michaela Rose. This could be one of the closest finishes of the weekend.
And on the men's side, we have Auburn's Makanaka Karumba facing off against Carly Makarawu in the 200 meter. Makarawu just set the SEC Indoor Championship record in the preliminaries yesterday. But let's not forget that Auburn's Karumba ran the fastest 200 meter time in the country this season with a blistering 20.16 seconds. Auburn's Jacoby Tharp will go head-to-head with Texas A&M's Jaqueline Scott, who recently broke his own school record. That's right, lots of record breakers in the mix.
Wow, these races are going to be ones to tune into. I heard there's a bigger story looming over the sport as a whole.
That's right, Frankie. The NCAA and SEC have announced massive roster cuts that will impact track and cross-country programs starting next season. The SEC is implementing stricter caps for the men's team, with only 35 track and field and 10 cross-country team members. It's a major shakeup, and we'll be watching to see how the teams respond. Losing depth could change the way the teams strategize and recruit moving forward.
With the roster cuts coming, how could that affect teams like Georgia in events like jumping and distance running?
Right now, Georgia still has its full lineup, but with these changes on the horizon, this SEC championship might be one of the last times we see the Bulldogs at full strength. Like we mentioned, jumps and the field events are Georgia's women's strengths, and they're most likely going to be taking the brunt of the hit. Teams that have been dominant like Arkansas might have to cut up to 10 track and field athletes in the offseason. Can they make a statement before everything shifts?
This SEC championship is not just about winning medals. It's about making a statement before the landscape of college track and field changes. This weekend is going to set the tone for the NCAA championships in March, and the SEC continues to prove it's the most dominant conference in collegiate track and field.
Looking at the competition, is Arkansas still the top team, or do you think someone else could take the title?
With Jayla Lockhart leading the women and Vines and Abdullah dominating on the men's side, I think Arkansas is in a strong position to secure their 13th straight SEC title for the women and their 6th straight for the men.
I'm going to have to agree on the men's side of things, Skylar. Arkansas has continued to improve this season, and they are peaking at the right time. They have a well-rounded team that might not have a ton of individual athletes that are the best in their events, but in almost every event, they're in the top conversation. On the women's side, I'm going to have to go with Georgia for this one. They have individual athletes like Aaliyah Butler and a 4x400 relay team that have put up times that are up there with Arkansas. Either way, this weekend is going to have loads of talented athletes and competition that's sure to put the nation on watch. Back to you, Frankie.
Coming up next on Sportsource, we've got the inside scoop on one of the Gym Dogs' favorite traditions. Then, we're asking Georgia fans if March Madness is still on the table for the men's basketball team. Don't go away. Welcome back to Sportsource. As Georgia Gymnastics continues its season, there's no doubt that it's been one to remember. Sportsource reporter Kaylin Vidal spoke to one of the most influential members of the Gym Dogs this week. Kaylin?
Thanks, Frankie. The Georgia Gymnastics season is in full swing, and fans can't take their eyes off one Gym Dog in particular, Jeffrey Scott. Now in her third year, Jeffrey competes on vault, bars, and beam. This season, she achieved a career-high score of 9.9 on beam at Auburn. But what truly sets her routine apart is a signature move that always electrifies the crowd, the Michael Jackson moonwalk on the beam. The moonwalk isn't just a cool trick, it's a beloved Gym Dog tradition. Jeffrey is the 8th gymnast to keep the legacy alive, a legacy that started with Nikki Childs Montgomery in 2004, and now 21 years later, it's still electrifying Stegeman Coliseum. I had the opportunity to walk and talk with Jeffrey about her iconic moonwalk and what it means to be a Gym Dog. Here's what she had to say. So you are amazing on the beam, and Stegeman always lights up when you do the iconic moonwalk. We all want to know more about it. So when did you first hear about the moonwalk?
I first heard about the moonwalk, I was about 12 years old, and I remember my previous teammate, Sabrina Vega, she was messaging me about recruiting, but obviously I was young, and she was telling me about how she did the moonwalk, and I was always obsessed with Michael Jackson. Like, my parents met at a Michael Jackson concert, so I've always been obsessed. So hearing about that, I was just like, that's something I want to do, but I wasn't really thinking I would actually do it.
So how did you get to have that iconic role of being the moonwalker?
So my previous teammate here at the University of Georgia, Soraya Hawthorne, she passed it down to me. It's kind of like a tradition that we've done for many, many years. And so it was kind of cool, you know, to get that tradition passed down. It's an honor.
So what's your favorite part about getting to compete at Stegeman Coliseum?
I just love the energy, and everybody is just there to support you and everything that you do. And it's honestly such a surreal experience, just getting to compete in front of people who love you and just do what you love.
Awesome. And how has your mindset evolved over the years being a Gym Dog?
I would say my mindset is just to have fun, to really take in the moments, because now it's just, you only have 4 years left. And, you know, for a sport that you've been doing since you were 3 years old, so it's just like, wow, like, it's almost over. So I just enjoy every moment and take in everything at once.
And what is one goal you hope to accomplish this season?
I gotta get a 10. I gotta get that perfect 10, and it's coming, so I'm really excited. So yeah.
Stay tuned. Thank you so much.
Of course, thank you.
Jeffrey will have at least 3 more opportunities to get that perfect 10 she's after. Her next opportunity is this Sunday, March 2nd at Stegeman Coliseum as Georgia takes on Kentucky. You don't want to miss Jeffrey Scott and the rest of her Gym Dogs.
Thanks, Kaylin. The Gym Dogs have made quite the impression at home, being 3-0, so Saturday's meet is sure to be a good one. Coming up on Sportsource, one Georgia baseball player is gearing up for a serious battle, but not on the field. Joining me now are analysts Wesley Branch and Jet Rawls to give us the latest. Guys?
Eligibility seems to be a constantly changing issue in the NCAA, and one Georgia player is fighting for his right to stay on the team.
We've got the inside scoop on his case and what it could mean for future college athletes. Don't go away.
Welcome back to Sportsource. When it comes to student athletics, a lot has changed lately, especially eligibility. New rulings for NCAA athletes have impacted spring sports teams, including the Georgia baseball team. Sportsource analysts Jet Rawls and Wesley Branch are here with more on how ongoing fight for one player's eligibility is looming large for the Diamond Dogs. Guys, what's the latest on the story?
Thanks, Frankie. Georgia baseball is off to a hot start, but there's another battle going on for outfielder Dylan Goldstein, not on the diamond, but in the courtroom. The graduate student had a hand in Georgia's run to the Super Regionals last year after transferring in from Florida Atlantic for his senior season, but he's currently suing the NCAA in hopes to get another eligibility year for the 2025 season. But the NCAA is pushing back. They claim that since he played at junior college before making the jump to Division I, Goldstein is not eligible to play for the 2025 season.
That's right, Jay. Goldstein played 3 seasons of Division I baseball, 2 at FAU and 1 at Georgia. But before that, he played 1 season at Chipola College at the JUCO level. His fight for eligibility is based on the NCAA's junior college eligibility bylaws and his ability to earn NIL compensation. On February 18th, Goldstein filed a lawsuit against the NCAA in hopes to receive an injunction allowing him to play. He also asked for a temporary restraining order that would allow him to play. His filing claims that not allowing him to play at the D1 level for a 4th season violates the Sherman Antitrust Act, keeping him and other athletes from earning NIL compensation for 4 total years. But on February 19, the district court judge denied the temporary restraining order. Just a few days ago on Tuesday, the judge did not make a ruling on Goldstein's injunction, prolonging the decision on his eligibility, even though the Bulldogs are now 10 games into the season.
It's a tough situation for Georgia and their outfielder, but he's not the first athlete to challenge the NCAA over eligibility, right?
The fight for eligibility is a relatively new case in the world of college sports, but Goldstein isn't the only player to push for it. Notably, Vanderbilt quarterback Diego Pavia was successful in his case against the NCAA and set a precedent for other athletes such as Goldstein to sue as well. Pavia's lawyer argued that since his time in junior college did not allow for meaningful opportunities to make money for NIL, players who have made the jump should be entitled to an extra year of eligibility.
Well, if Goldstein is deemed eligible, what exactly is Georgia getting in having him back?
That's a great question, Frankie. Here's what UGA baseball head coach Wes Johnson had to say before the season on Goldstein and the impact of him potentially being allowed to play.
You know, if that works out, obviously you're looking at a guy who hit, 12 homers, hit, 280 in our league last year and would be coming back for another year. And as you guys know, old players in this league win.
As Johnson said, getting back a veteran like Goldstein would be huge for this Georgia team. Last season, he hit 12 home runs and had a .270 batting average. These stats are great alone, but Goldstein really shines in the outfield. He had a perfect fielding percentage on 37 chances. It's important to note that Goldstein has been allowed to practice with the team, and they have kept a roster spot open for him, even though he's yet to be cleared.
Are there other athletes right now that are fighting the NCAA similar to Goldstein?
Absolutely. Tennessee first baseman Alberto Osuna is in the same boat as Goldstein after transferring from North Carolina. In basketball, Southern Miss player John Wade is fighting a similar battle, and Wisconsin defensive back Nazir Forkarine has also been denied eligibility.
Just like Goldstein, all these athletes are seeking just one more chance to play for their respective teams. But despite the successful suit by Pavia, there are definitely more battles to be fought in the courtroom. Back to you, Frankie.
Coming up on Sportsource, are we ready for the big leagues when it comes to basketball? Keep watching to find out. Welcome back to Sportsource. UGA basketball has been on quite the journey this season, and now there's some uncertainty of what could come next. Today we're joined by Sportsource reporter Ansley Gavlak, who asked fans what we're all wondering. Will the Bulldogs make the NCAA tournament? Ansley?
Georgia basketball has had one roller coaster of a season, from beating top 25 teams like Kentucky and Oklahoma to earning a spot in the AP top 25 for the first time since 2011. Georgia was on a hot streak earlier this season. This sparked a boost in confidence for fans in Georgia's chance to make the NCAA tournament for the first time in 9 years. However, that confidence started to become blurry when Georgia lost 9 of its last 11 games prior to Tuesday night's matchup against number 3 Florida. I had the chance to talk to some diehard Georgia fans who had lined up outside of Stegman Coliseum 3 hours prior to the start of the Florida game to see if they thought Georgia still had what it takes to make the tournament this year. Some fans were optimistic, while it still remained a question for others. See what these fans had to say. Georgia's season is winding down and their tournament chances are still up in the air. Do you think that they still have a chance to make the NCAA tournament, or is it going to be another letdown this year, and why?
I think if we secure a win in this game, there's definitely a strong chance we'll be in the tournament. If not, I feel like our chances are definitely slim. But either way, always love the Dogs.
I think we have a chance, probably.
Why?
A win tonight would definitely help, so, I mean.
Yeah. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, a win tonight would definitely help, but I think they just let too many games slip away from them, and it's honestly going to cost them in the long run. But
I think it's an outside shot. If we win tonight, that would really help things. And then we've got 3 games that are very winnable left on our schedule. If we win out, I think we're in, but that's a big if. So, but I'm here, I'm positive, I'm optimistic, so hoping they can pull it out.
If they could win the rest of their games, yes. Yes.
All right.
Bulldog all the way, baby, all the way.
I think we have a good chance because we do have some heavy, big games that we still have to play. We play Florida tonight, we play Vanderbilt, play South Carolina again, and more. I feel like if we win out, I think we have a good chance of making the tournament.
Awesome. What do you think?
Totally agree. Our wins earlier in the season, I think, carry some weight as well. So if we can win out and finish out strong, maybe we can forget the middle half of the season, right?
Yeah.
So.
Awesome.
Yep, it's going to be super close, but it starts here tonight against Florida, so if we beat them, I feel like we have a good shot of going far in the tournament.
As a true Dog fan, I think I'm just going to say that they're going to make it. Not going to put any negative out there, anything negative.
We're just going to hope for the best at this point. Just do the best we can.
Yeah.
You got to win tonight, but if we win tonight, we got a chance.
And the Bulldogs went on to take the win on Tuesday night, defeating the Gators 88-83. For many fans, that was just the type of dominant victory they needed to see to gain their confidence back in the Bulldogs. But for now, the question still remains. Back to you, Frankie.
Thanks, Ansley. Georgia's season has been full of ups and downs, but after that big win over Florida, their tournament chances might not be over yet. We'll have to wait and see what happens next. And that's a wrap for Sportsource. From the battle over NCAA eligibility to the biggest races at SEC track and field, and now the excitement of Georgia basketball, we've covered it all. Thanks for watching. We'll be back in 3 weeks. Until then, enjoy the games, and for all the UGA students out there, have a great spring break.